Hey, everybody, it's Just a Guy with a Beer on Monday night, March the 8th. Got an awesome show scheduled here for you tonight. Come right back right after this. We'll see who it is, what's going on. Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 33. It starts right now. All right, episode number 33 of Just a Guy with a Beer is here, Monday, March 8th, and my special guest today, my man Corey Miller from Submerged Brewing out in Port Orchard, Washington. Welcome to the show, Corey.
Thanks for having me. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's I'm glad to have you. We talked a while ago, and you know your schedule is different than most people's, so
Yeah.
We had to make it work, and we kept communicating, and here we are. So I'm glad that you finally were able to put aside a little bit of time for us and come on the show, and I'm happy to have you here. So
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
yes, so let's get right at it, man. So your brewery, I say brewery, you can explain that here in a second. You're called Submerged Brewing, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about Submerged Brewing.
So Submerged Brewing, it was kind of a brainchild that my wife and I started back in 2018. When I started getting back into brewing, I was stationed in Hawaii at the time. And because, if you've ever lived in Hawaii, it's such a pain to get anything out there. Pretty much the cost of anything plus shipping and all that is such a pain. But she was the one that ended up saying, hey, just pull the trigger. You love doing this so much. You kind of put it on hiatus for so long. You need to get back into it. So we're trying to think of names, and we know we wanted to be submarine centric. But we came up with a lot of things, and Submerged just ended up being the most simplistic and most catchy, one that kind of came across. And ever since then, and ever since we got our new system, it's been a huge roller coaster of fun, helping people out with their home brewing journey, working towards opening up our own, hopefully here pretty soon. But again, we'll talk about that a little bit down the ways. But yeah, I mean, we've had a huge help from all of the submarine community. They're really behind it. They've been buying a lot of the swag, helping us raise money to kind of figure out new things, test new things. So that way we can kind of, when we open up, we're going to be rock solid. That's
awesome. And listen, for people that don't know, you mentioned it a little bit, you are a submarine sailor. Okay? You are a brother of the Finn. And I know that I know I can see people that wear fish that are watching the show right now. I see the People's Warrant is watching the show right now. So what's up, Brian? Yes. So listen, if you're wearing fish and you're watching the show, even if you're watching after the original broadcast, go to www.submergedbrewing.co, not .com, not .co, and order some swag from Corey. His stuff is cool, man. You can see he's wearing a shirt, he's wearing the hat. Some of us already have it out. Mine's on the way. Mine's going to be here tomorrow. I was hoping that we could get early, so I had it tonight.
I tried my best.
No, it's good, man. I appreciate it. Your hat, that's a dope hat. I love it. I can't wait to rock it, and I'll rock it with pride because your logo, that's what first caught my eye. I was just browsing Facebook pages, and I'm with everything beer. So, because I have the show, the Facebook algorithms, they show me everything beer. So I saw that one day and I was like, cool. So I just liked it and I looked at it, saw what it was. And then I saw you on Sailors and Sticks, which is another amazing podcast that my friends Brian and Nick do down in Norfolk. So I said, well, I asked Brian a little bit about you, and he's like, yeah, man, you got to reach out to that dude and talk to him. And that's what we did. We talked a little bit, and then here we are. So now, listen, I'm super jealous because if you've been following me, guys, you know that I'm on my beer sabbatical. I gave up beer for Lent, so I guess you can say that. But so I'm drinking a regular plain seltzer, not a hard seltzer. I haven't had beer. I haven't had a beer in 9 days. So that beer you were looking looked mighty good. So what were you actually drinking?
So today I'm drinking Kami for Mommy. It's one of our kind of off-centered beers that we were tinkering with, and it turned out to be a big hit. I've never seen a keg get tapped that fast before in my life, but it is a ginger pale ale. It's brewed with fresh ginger root, orange blossom honey, and some fresh lime zest, and actually the juice from the lime as well. So kind of right along the line of kind of a Moscow Mule inspired drink. But yeah, it's a really good one. People seem to like it.
That's a triple Belgian, right?
No. This one's just a pale ale. It's on the hoppier side because the ginger root and the lime kind of lend itself to bitterness.
Was it Das?
The Belgian that we have, the Das Triple Boot, that is that's a Belgian triple. That one's around 9.5%. The true Belgian style. Tried to keep it to as close to traditional Belgian triple as possible. So if you've ever had anything like a Westmalle Belgian, it is right along those lines. Very good.
Yeah, it looked amazing. And then the one you just described with the ginger root, that sounds pretty awesome. It's unique. That's what I like to look for.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always. I mean, even myself, obviously, I brew beer, but any time that I'm at, around here, like Peninsula Bevco or Total Wine or anything like that, I'm always trying to look for something new to try and either inspire my own brewing or, really just find that new flavor.
Yeah, and there's a lot of breweries popping up now they're doing the sours, and they have like some really freaky like mix. There's a place I don't know if you've ever heard of Hoax Brewing. They're here in Connecticut, and they had one. It was like raspberries and marshmallows and, and milk sugar. It's like all this crazy stuff, but it's amazing.
It is. They are good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many crazy things, and you're just like, you try these things, and you're just like, how this is a beer? Like this is like I'm drinking a glass of juice or a melted slushy.
Yeah, it's a smoothie.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and they're so good. There's a place that we've discovered down in Delaware Beach called Dewey Brewing.
Okay.
And Dewey Beer Company, I think I don't want to slight them. They're amazing. Their beers, even their regular beers, are really, really good. And I have one on deck right now that I'm going to drink when I start drinking. And when I go back on the first, it's an orange. It's a chocolate stout, but it has orange in it. So
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy gave it to me, and he's like, "You got to try this." He doesn't like chocolate, so he gave it to me. He's like, "I want you to try this because I know you'll drink it." So I'm like the Mikey from Life cereal commercial. Like, give it to Scott, he'll drink it. He'll drink anything. Yeah, I mean, I will literally drink anything. I won't say no because you never know, right? It could be something amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you try anything once, right?
Yeah, there's a local brewery guy I had on last week from Tox Brewing. They just put out one called Fire Coral, and it's brewed with habaneros.
Okay.
They have a Red Alert one that was a special edition. They only made a certain amount of bottles. They put out little, the bombers, and it had ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers, scorpion peppers. Yeah, it's all. I didn't get a chance to get one. I already reached out to him. He's like, no, dude, they were gone in an hour. So
that's pretty crazy.
I got to find someone that's got some so I can give that a whirl. So listen, you guys, we said brewery and coats. And
yes.
Quote, right. So you have a home brewery. So if you go to your website and you look and you start reading about it, it says you have a home brewery.
Yes.
What's a home brewery?
So sadly, just kind of give you a little backstory. The intention was we were stationed in Hawaii. We got orders to Washington. I already knew through brewing, a majority of time. I started back in 2007, 2006. that Washington is a very brewer-friendly state. There's not a lot of laws that are going to stop you from opening up a very small remote operation. In fact, even operating out of your garage and distributing yourself without a distributor, that's something that Washington has no problem with. Once we got here and we bought a house, sadly, everything from the federal government, the state of Washington, everybody was on board with my plan, my business plan. I had submitted it across multiple permits and everything like that. It wasn't until we got to the city that we live in that started putting up red flags. They started telling me that, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. And when I started trying to fight it and give reasons of, this is BS, they just wouldn't back down. It just wasn't financially savvy to try and do all the things that they wanted me to do to run that small of an operation. So we decided to kind of shift our business plan around to where we would still operate as a home brewery. As a home brewery, we are federally, allowed to brew our own beer, but for personal consumption only. We can give the beer away as far as when we have social events here or anything like that. However, we cannot sell the beer. So I do have an LLC that I use to sell, the swag and all that stuff. But for when people come over and actually pick up the swag, or if I'm shipping it out, that's why I can't sell the beer. That's, it's something that we've kind of had to flip our business plan kind of 180 degrees based on what we wanted to do. I had an order out for a much bigger system and a whole bunch of other stuff that we had to put on hold. But, I thought about it and I said, hey, I want to still keep putting our name out there. I want to still keep being, useful in the brewing industry. And because home brewing with COVID has, highly increased over the past few months, I utilized my time home brewing to try and help people as far as mentorship programs, help people through their brewing problems. Even, for people that have never brewed before and want to get started, we've had them over, brewed with them, kind of showed them how to do, where to get started, what to read, things like that. So it's been helpful.
That's great. And, as we talked about a little bit before we came on about, trying to help people. And I love that about what you're doing there. That's a great thing. I wish we had, we might have something like that around here, but I don't know of it, or else I would be really pushing that. But to be able to, bring people in. So it was kind of a blessing and a curse for what happened to you, because you're still able to do what you love doing, which is, to brew the beer, but you're not allowed to sell it. But in the same time, you can host like clinics, I guess you would say.
Yes.
How to brew beer or whatever. And, I don't know if you do that just out of the kindness of your heart, or, do they give you a little kickback from that, or?
We do get some tips. I am starting a portion on our website that is more of like a mentorship program, to where we can charge based on what the client wants to do, as far as if we're starting from bare bones, do they want to come, to the house and brew with us to get an idea, or what sort of things that we want. And we kind of tally it up as we go to figure it out. But, for the most part, brewing and home brewing, the brewing industry, everybody is so helpful as it is already. It feels almost wrong, criminal, if you will, to kind of charge for the knowledge. I really am all about just helping people kind of get to where I am, if they want to be that crazy.
Right.
And two, if they want to kick me some cash back to just keep my operation going, to where, it kind of offsets the costs of brewing supplies and different things that we want to try, that we can do some YouTube videos on or use for teaching other folks, then that's what I'm all about doing.
That's cool.
Not for necessarily a profit, I'm just in it to kind of help people, because I know even back in 2007 when I started brewing, it is so different nowadays, how easy you can go and get information, vice what it was before. So
That's great, and I love, someone commented here that you're doing a lot of pro bono work, which is awesome. But that's awesome. Listen, is there a way that, like, if my listeners or my viewers wanted to donate, is there a way to do that to you? Do you have not a GoFundMe, but is there a way that someone can donate?
yeah, so we don't have a GoFundMe. We do. What we started doing is on our website, I am releasing the recipes that we brew here at Submerged. And usually I'll put one on a week. That's my goal that I kind of set for myself. And if there's a delay, I'll be sure to let people know in the blogs and stuff like that. But under each recipe, if you like it, take it, brew it. If you have some constructive feedback, there's some contact us on our website that you can use. But at the same time, there's donate functions that are on the website.
Awesome.
And even just buying swag alone definitely helps us out.
Yeah, you got some cool stuff there.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I definitely, like I said, I bought a hat. I can't wait to have it. It's going to be here tomorrow. I was hoping it was going to be here today. I was going to sneak in and I'd be able to rock it tonight, but I definitely will be back, because my accountant puts a tight rope around. I have too many beer things. Like, who never have too many beer things?
No.
Hat, well, yeah, I have literally have a brewery ball cap collection from all the places I've gone that I've, people that have come on the show. I have a collection. So you will definitely be added to it, and I'll be wearing it on the show 100%. So guys,
hey, definitely, that's much appreciated. I mean, that's money that we use to either get new equipment as things kind of to make just the overall process easier. So that way I can explain certain things as far as making the home brewing a lot easier to do, or for the fact of just buying, materials. Today I brewed a double IPA with the system behind me. I think, the overall price of all the materials was around $100 or so bucks, with hops, yeast, all that good stuff. I mean, we try to be as frugal as we can. If we can save the yeast on the back end after it's done its job, we'll reharvest and save it for another time. But
everything costs money. I mean, nothing's cheap anymore for anything you're doing, especially the beer industry. And people don't realize, and I've said this before on the show when I've been at breweries, people don't realize how much work and money it goes into brewing. And that's why that goes along with what I was saying before about I'll try anything with the beer wise, because I know how much it takes for you to make just one small batch of beer. I know how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into that, and I appreciate that. So I'm showing you my appreciation by. Now, I may not love it. I will always give you. I wouldn't be like, this sucks, right? I'll be like, hey, I like it, but like that positive reinforcement.
Right, exactly. I mean, I know, yeah, I know everything that I brew is not going to be a fan of everybody. That's not the intention. The intention is, what can you find of mine that you absolutely love? And, if you hate it, then what do you hate about it? So we can make it better.
Right. Let's say I would never tell somebody I hated something. I'll say, look, it's not my favorite, because literally I can count on one hand the amount of beers that I actually hated. And they were made by big beer companies. So I don't have the chance to tell the person that brewed it that I hated it. So, and people look at me when I say it. I don't know if you've ever heard of Trillium before.
Yes, I have heard of Trillium.
Trillium makes great beers, but they made a beer that I absolutely loathed. And I don't drain pour a lot of beers. I took one sip of that and I actually spit it back in my glass. So, and it was a Trillium beer. People were like, "You're out of your mind."
Yeah. It's always a tough time too, especially with, the price tag on a lot of the, fancy beers that you were talking about, $8.99 for a single 16-ounce pint. I'm like, holy crap.
Paying $30 for a 4-pack. So
yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. Some of those get up there. So, all right. So we're going to take a break real quick. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about some more about your home brewery. Going to have some more questions on that because definitely there's some uniqueness going on there, and I want you to tell everybody about your story, and we'll talk some more about your beers as well. All right, so we'll be back in like 2.5 minutes. You're watching Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 33 with Corey Miller from Submerged Brewing. This is Just a Guy with a Beer.
If you're in the market for a used vehicle at a great price, head over to GNS Auto Sales in Franklin, Connecticut and take a look at their great selection. BMW, Audi, Dodge, Chevy, Ford, and so much more. And whether it's an oil change, brake repair, or the check engine light, let Pat, Wendy, and their team of professionals take care of all your automotive needs. That's GNS Auto Sales located in Franklin, Connecticut. Give them a call at 860-383-0050 or find them on the web at www.gnsautosales.llc.com.
Have you got a taste for exquisitely crafted beer and pub grub with a foodie flair? Then These Guys Brewing Company on Franklin Street in Norwich, Connecticut has got what you're craving. Enjoy a variety of classic and unique craft beers brewed on site and indulge in a delicious meal with seasonal dishes from their scratch kitchen. And check them out on Facebook or online at theseguysbrewing.com to stay up to date with their freshest brews, current menu, and upcoming events. These Guys Brewing Company, where it's all about good times, great food, and fantastic craft beer.
Hey, do you hear that? That's the sound of people getting together and having a good time. These are some of the sounds that you're going to hear when you visit Epicure Brewing on Franklin Street in Norwich. Epicure is a craft brewery that wants you to experience friends, a lot of laughter, and of course, Epicure's craft beers on tap. Bring your friends or come down and make some new ones while enjoying the freshest quality beer in the area. Epicure Brewing is located at 40 Franklin Street, Norwich, right in the heart of the historic district of Norwich. Check out Epicure Brewing on the web at epicurebrewing.com, as well as finding them on Facebook. So come on down and add your voice to the sound you hear in the background right now. Follow the hashtag Epicure Brewing for life.
Unify is a local full-service marketing and branding agency that helps your business strategize, develop, and implement a marketing plan using the best platforms and materials to connect you with the right customers quickly. Find them on Facebook at Unify CT or on Instagram at Unify_CT or call Laura directly at 860-326-6003. Strategize, develop, and connect. That's Unify. Killfoot Clothing is the first 100% veteran sales team owned by 2 local Connecticut combat wounded veterans. Every garment is designed, printed, sold, handled, and shipped only by veterans. We source our products 100% made in the USA and believe if you have a flag on your shirt, that shirt should be made in the United States, period. Killfoot Clothing Company. American made, American proud.
Do you have a junk car or maybe one that got blown up and caught on fire? The guys from Scrap for Cash, they don't care. They're going to come to you. They're going to tow it away for free, and then they're going to pay you $275 for it. Scrap for Cash will turn that heat in your backyard into money so you can pay bills, taxes, groceries.
A night on the town.
Find Scrap for Cash on Facebook or call 860-373-2556. Scrap for Cash.
The Ideal Skate Shop on 175 Central Avenue in Norwich, Connecticut is more than just your average skate shop. They offer an amazing selection of one-of-a-kind, hard-to-find vans you won't find anywhere else. Into disc golf? Well, come on in and check out their amazing stock of top-line discs. And in addition to custom skate decks, accessories, and parts, they carry local handmade merchandise from small businesses. That's the Ideal Skate Shop, 175 Central Avenue, Norwich, Connecticut. Give them a call at 860-334-5277 or on Facebook and Instagram at Ideal Skate Shop, Norwich. All right, welcome back, everybody. Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 33. Corey Miller from Submerged Brewing. And before we get back to it, I just wanted to tell everybody that this portion of the show is sponsored by Willimantic Brewing Company in Willimantic, Connecticut. Amazing beers, fantastic menu. Check them out at www.willimanticbrewingcompany.com. All right, now that the bills are paid, let's get back at it. So now, the whole entire time we've been talking, every time you talk about your home brewery, you say we. You have a partner.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, my wife Brittany, she is definitely the kind of brains as far as she keeps me grounded because I have a lot of stupid ideas. Stupid being awesome,
You're a
but at the same time,
submariner, though. That's what we do.
costly.
Stupid ideas.
So yeah, she definitely helps me out. And we have 2 kids, so a brew day can be pretty taxing as far as paying attention to things, and on top of that, time spent doing maintenance on websites and this and that. So time kind of bottles up. So her being able to kind of watch the kids while I'm working on stuff, it definitely helps me out. And she's helped me with some of the names. She even helped me out with the logo. So yeah, it's been kind of a
Awesome logo, by the way.
Yeah, the logo is great. The logo is actually myself and a brainchild from one of her previous coworkers, Evan. We wanted a simplistic way to kind of show submarining but brewing at the same time, and kind of thought that one up. Napkin idea type of deal. So yeah,
it's it's super creative, and it absolutely nails it. I mean, you could not get a better logo for what you're doing with the beer. I love that, the top of it is the sail and the Fairwater, and then below the waterline is the hop nugget, and it's awesome, man. That's really, really cool. So nice job on that, and nice job to Brittany. Your wife's name is Brittany, correct?
Correct.
She's watching, so that's awesome.
Yep, I can see it.
You're good. So hi, Brittany. Nice to meet you. I hope that someday I can get out there, man, and maybe by that time you'll be wherever you're going to be going permanently, and you'll have your own brewery. So
hey, that's the goal.
Now, where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from Minnesota, a little tiny town north of the Twin Cities, about an hour. Hugo, went to school up there. Both my wife and I are from up there. So after that, joined the military. I've been in the military now for 16 years. And it's been a ride. I've been, to Norfolk, where I spent most of my career, then Hawaii for 5 years, and now here in Washington.
That's awesome, man. First of all, thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I really definitely appreciate that. And I'm never a former submariner. We're never a former submariner. We're still submariners. We'll always be submariners. But being a submariner myself, I definitely appreciate what you're doing, and I know how tough it is, especially you're on a boat, and
yes,
boat life is tough on its own. Plus, you're juggling a family. Plus, you're juggling this awesome business that you got going on there. So that's very well done, man. Congratulations on that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's awesome. So now I was going through, your info, your about info, and it said you've done some collabs with bigger breweries before.
Yes. Yep.
So can you tell me about some of those collabs that you've done and who you did with?
So I've done some collabs with some East Coast guys. I'm not even sure if they're there anymore up in Hampton, Virginia. And I had the opportunity to help out with Sierra Nevada once.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's a great, that's one of my favorite, I would say big name breweries, like Stone and Sierra Nevada and they just happen to be California breweries.
Yeah, absolutely. So they have two main breweries, one in North Carolina and one in Cali, kind of to help on distribution costs. So
right.
My buddy and I, Brian, we got to go down to the North Carolina brewery and hang out with those guys. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Now, didn't they merge with somebody? Did they not?
I think you're thinking about Dogfish Head.
Is it Dogfish Head and Sierra Nevada kind of? They didn't really.
Dogfish Head and Sam Adams.
Sam Adams, that's it.
Yep.
Dogfish Head out of Delaware.
Yes, correct.
Yep. All right. Now it's a lot. I had a buddy of mine, Chris, from Stone Brewing, come on one of my shows late last year, and he actually works. He's just the East Coast guy for them. He's like the rep for the East Coast for Stone Brewing, and I didn't know that they have a Stone Brewing, like a huge brewery in Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, sorry, not Baltimore.
That's usually the going thing nowadays to one, to kind of assist distribution once you get to a certain size of a brewery, and say you're Sierra Nevada out in California.
Right.
Easiest way to help on distribution is to open a new brewery up on the opposite end of the coast to kind of funnel everything around.
It's not actually. It's now that after I said it, I knew it was wrong as it was coming out of my mouth. It's actually Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a completely different city. Which Baltimore is a great beer city too. There's some cool beers there.
Oh, absolutely.
Natty Bo is one of my favorite all-time beers.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I everybody has that one beer. They're slumming beer, and that's I can't get it up here. I have to go home. I have to go down to South Jersey where my sister lives in Philly. I can get it there. Or if I have to go to someone goes to Maryland, I'm like, yo, bring me back to Natty Bo.
Yingling is definitely. I wouldn't call it my slumming beer because they're an excellent beer, but we don't get Yingling in Washington yet. But yeah,
we just got it here in Connecticut like 3 years ago.
Oh, it's such a great beer.
Have you been able to have the Hershey's chocolate stout yet? Yinglings?
I have not. No.
It's actually pretty good. I was
nice.
Kind of like on the fence about whether I wanted to try it. It's what, hey, you try it and tell me if you like it. And there you go. I said, all right, yeah, I'll try it. And I loved it. I said, wow, this is actually really good. It would actually be the warmer it got, the more of the flavor came out. Like I let it rest after they poured it. I didn't drink it like right away. I took a couple sips and I let it sit for a few because I was out on the motorcycle and I didn't want to be drinking on a motorcycle. So I had one. But I let it sit a little bit, and the longer it sat, the more the flavor just popped out, and it was so good. So if you can get your hands on one of those, you should definitely absolutely do it.
I'll have to give it a try for sure.
Yes. So but yes, so that's awesome that you actually got to do a collab with a huge Sierra Nevada is huge.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Taking a tour and being able to brew on that scale, especially when all is home brewing. Back when we did that, I think my mash tun was an igloo cooler, jerry rigged with PVC pipes, and we drilled drain holes and stuff like that. So, if you're inventive enough, you can brew beer out of anything. I mean, hell, if you've watched that National Geo show about them distilling liquor out in the middle of nowhere, moonshiners,
yeah.
The people can get pretty darn inventive to get alcohol going.
I think that's going to be my next deal. Like my wife bought me a homebrew kit a few years ago, and I was really super excited to do it. And I made my first batch. I made a double IPA, and it was kind of weird for my first one. I did a double, but that's what I like, and that's what I wanted to do. And it was I called it Playoff Beard because it was right around the NHL playoffs were starting. So I was starting to grow my playoff beard, so I said, all right, we're going to call it Playoff Beard. And it actually was really, really good. I was really shocked actually good it was. I'm like, wow.
When you come up with something and it's just amazing, you're like, holy crap, I can't believe it.
Even people were like, you come on, you made this? I'm like, yeah, it was actually my first time and it came out great. But I haven't done it since. Like what happened was I broke my hydrometer. I got lazy and I was like, oh, I got to get a new hydrometer. And I keep forgetting. So I think this summer, me and my buddies are going to go in on something and we're going to brew something.
There you go. Yeah. Make it happen. If you need help, let me know.
To get some so we can make bigger than just one batch. So yeah. Hey, yeah, there you go. Hey, maybe we'll make a little version of something you got going on there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel free. I'd be honored.
Into it. We'll add something to that. That's cool. So now the name of obviously I understand how you got the name Submerged Brewing. So can you explain to people who may not know about Submerged Brewing, like how you came up with that?
Well, I mean, I joined the Navy back in 2004. And since then, I've been in the submarine service. So submarine service has definitely shaped me to the person I am today. That's for sure. And I kind of feel like I do owe, how I am and the way I am now to the submarine service and to the Navy. So I wanted to kind of pay homage to my service and what the submarine force has done and the people that I've met along the way. So, every time I brew a beer and, it's got one of the crazy names that you were talking about and stuff, and everybody has a good laugh. Usually, it's the submariners that come by to taste everything that they're like, blown away and just love every minute of it. That's what gets me to keep brewing over and over and over again. So
Yes, and that's and I can relate to that because I have a very a loyal following of people who watch my show, and the more and more they're like, man, your show is great, this and that. It keeps me going. It makes me want to I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll just stop doing it after this many episodes. And they're like, no, heck no, man. We love watching it. It's like an event at my house every Monday. We watch your show. And I don't know. And if everybody who's listening and didn't know, I just went over 1,000 downloads Saturday, which is in the podcast world, that's a huge deal. So
yeah,
I'm
it's awesome.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to do that. It's a big milestone for me. But people like you that keep me going and keep me doing this, because people like you are why I do this. So I love what you did with it. The Submerged Brewing. You say you're paying homage to something that's given so much to you. So I think that's super cool that you actually came up with it, and the logo. It just clicks, man. I don't know if you have any marketing experience, but you you nailed this, dude. I'm telling you right now.
Well, I mean, thankfully, through the Navy, I've been able to get my degree. So I do have a business degree. So I've taken a marketing class. That's about as far as it goes.
Hey, your teacher, your professor for your marketing class should be super proud.
I mean, for the most part, I try to learn from, what's not worked. Usually what's not worked and what's failed is the quickest and easiest method to continue forward.
Right. Like, how many times did you have something and we're like, no, and like crumpled it up and throw it away? And you go back and you unravel it and like, oh man, maybe this will work.
Yeah, so many times. I mean, I can't tell you how many of some of my beers that I've been through to where, I'm on Rev, like, I don't know, zebra. So
zebra.
It's sometimes it just takes that one little thing, or just being able to make sure that you're consistent in what you do, that overall ends up being the winning factor in the end.
Nice. And that's great, because it's a lot of, like I said, even not just with the actual brewing process, but with you and your wife being the only ones doing it, there's a lot of really, really, really hard work that goes into just keeping yourselves afloat there and being able to do what you do, besides the sweat equity that you're putting in to your beer. So I hope I get an opportunity to try some seriously, because everything that I've seen so far, there's nothing that you're doing there that I don't love. So
well, we'll have to try and get some.
Yeah, we tried that. I would love that, and we making a donation in the name of Just a Guy with a Beer. And again, for my listeners, my viewers that are watching, go to www.submergedbrewing.co.
Submergedbrewingco.com.
Oh, submergedbrewingco.com, and you can find a link to donate on there, or you can order some awesome swag. You got the t-shirts are awesome. I bought a ball cap. You got stickers. You got IPA glasses, right? You had some tulip. You have the tulip glass.
Yes. So we have 3 different types of glasses. We have 5-ounce tasters where we just have the basic logo on it. We have Belgian glasses in both black and white, and then we have the pint glasses, what I'm drinking out of now, also in black and white. So yeah, it's something to keep us going, something to funnel into the next, hey, what if kind of beer idea that I've got going on in my head. So yeah, it's like I said, I appreciate everybody's support and all the submariners past and present that have been driving this business to, be able to test out new things and try new things, especially since, being in Washington and kind of, like I said, that business plan 180 that we had to do, being patient and kind of letting us try to figure out how best to go about, YouTube videos. And like I was talking to you about, possibly a podcast, in retrospect, to try and kind of build another community. We also opened up a sailor-centric Facebook page called Drink to the Foam.
I'm a member.
Where
that was you guys.
So people can kind of, nationwide kind of share what they're drinking, where they got it. It doesn't have to be beer, a lot of folks are, posting about their single malt scotches and things like that, which, hey, I'm a fan of every now and then. So
yeah, I'm more of a bourbon guy. I like to keep it domestic, but
I agree.
I'm not a fan of those scotches. It tastes it's a little weird for me. The whole peat taste is, to me, is I don't know, it's weird.
No, I agree.
But I like to keep it domestic. I like to keep it in, keep it America is what I say. But yeah, that's a great page, man. So if you are a sailor, this is sailors only, right?
Yeah, so sailors, I have had a couple of people, like, hey, what about any, service members, what have you? I'm open to just kind of expanding it to veterans as a whole, any service, doesn't matter. But sailors kind of offer, that as far as that out to sea mentality and understanding, kind of what goes into that. I'll even go as far as to say, hey, even some coasties out there are, know what we're talking about. But
it's a great page.
Yeah, we even have some Aussie submariners out there.
Oh, nice.
On Drink to the Foam.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you're watching and you're not a member of Drink to the Foam, go to the Facebook, look them up on Facebook, and then ask to be a member, because it's a cool page and you find some really cool stuff there. Like,
yeah, you really do. I mean, even I try to be, a connoisseur of as many breweries as we possibly can. My paycheck, goes to a fair amount of different breweries in the area.
You're in the area out there too. That's like the West Coast Disneyland of beer drinking.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
See the Pacific Coast there. So
yeah.
So, now, you ever think about maybe how do you feel about Red Hook?
Say again.
How do you feel about Red Hook?
Red Hook? Red Hook's not bad. I mean, their West Coast stuff is not too bad, and they've recently put out a couple of things that were, I mean, not my favorite, but were not awful.
Not terrible, right?
I would say 4 stars.
Yeah, listen, that was like Red Hook is the first IPA I ever drank back in 1996. I remember the day. I had the TM division was over at my house for dinner, and one of my fellow TMs brought over a 6-pack of Red Hook IPA, like their flagship IPA.
Yeah,
and we drank it, and I'm like, wow, I never had that. I was a Budweiser and anything malt liquor that came in a 40-ounce bottle. That's what I was drinking back then. So, when he brought that over, it changed my whole the way I drank beer for the rest of my life. Here we are, 24 years later. I have a show about craft beer. So,
I mean, yeah, you're really. It's surprising sometimes what beers can kind of turn you into a connoisseur of certain styles. I mean, because I started homebrewing long before sours were kind of mainstream like they are now. I used to get super pissed when people are like, oh my God, a sour. I'm like, who intentionally is putting bacteria in their beer to, sour this? This is like it goes against what we, are trying to do. But then you taste a couple of them and you kind of do your research on, some things that, historically are accurate, like, Berliner Weiss and things like that have been around forever. And yeah, they're really good. So
yeah. I'm a huge fan. I was never a fan.
Oh yeah.
Of sours. And one day I was in my barber shop and my barber was like, you want a beer? I'm like, okay. Yes.
Get my hair cut. Yeah.
Yeah. He handed me a Victory Golden Monkey. And that was the first time I ever had a sour, and I was completely hooked. I'm like, holy crap, this is a sour. I never wanted to taste it. And now I'm drinking all kinds of the smoothies and the Berliner Weiss and the kettle sours, and I want to actually brew one. So
Yeah,
it's cool they make them, and they don't do it right, man. And you could tell right away.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, this one's not that good.
It's definitely a labor of love for sure, because the brewing steps to doing a sour are, I mean, it kind of goes to like smoking meat. If anybody in the audience is knows it, like smoking a brisket or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You actually have to let the bacteria do its thing and create lactic acid. And sometimes that can take upwards of like 24 to 36 hours. And you're sitting there nursing, this beer along for 36 hours, making sure that it's completely wrapped up and you're not letting anything else get into it besides the bacteria that you purposely put in. There's actually a company out there right now that is, they bioengineered yeast that creates lactic acid during fermentation. So you don't even have to put bacteria in the brew at all. So you just brew like you normally would. Once you get it in the fermenter, add this yeast, and this yeast actually creates lactic acid as it ferments the sugar.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. It creates a very, very clean sour, where you kind of sometimes have that like funk to some of the sours. That's attributed to a lot of other things that are in the beer along with the normal yeast. So yeah, I actually have some in my fridge. I'm going to be doing a sour here pretty soon. We're going to do 2 or 3 fruited sours. We're going to call them the Bug Juice series.
Yes. Very well done. I love it.
Yeah.
Gotta have some great bug, man. You have to. Great bug. Come on. Tell me that's the best one, right? You remember the old school Bug Juice?
Oh yeah,
Grape was always the best.
Yeah, you could clean toilets with that. Which
yes. Well, see, now I'm an old school guy. I was around. I qualified in 1989, and when I was a nub, I can say nub now because I'm retired. When I was a nub, we used to look legit. It came in like the brown package that was like, it said whatever the name of it was, mixed drink mix.
Yep.
The standards government issue. You open it up and there's no sugar. You had to add sugar to it, and you pour that in the toilet. And quick C story: our doc would walk around, and I was deck division, so he would come to the head and see we were cleaning, and we were in there. We were shooting the shit. The doc came in and he was like, "You assholes cleaning?" I'm like, "It's already clean, doc." He's like, "Really? Is that so, Fryer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's clean." He's like, "I'm gonna go get some peanut butter and throw it on that ball valve. If it's clean, you eat that peanut butter off that sugar ball valve." I said, "Okay, go do it." And he came back with the peanut butter on a plastic spoon and he threw it in the toilet. I reached in, I grabbed it, and I ate it. He's like, "All right, it's clean. Carry on."
Yep, there you go.
All right, listen, we're going to take one more quick break. I got to get my sponsors out there one more time. We come back. I want you to talk about the rest of your beers because you have some pretty cool beers out there, and I want to tell everyone about them before we get the air. So we'll be right back. This is episode number 33 of Just a Guy with a Beer. And Corey Miller's here from Submerged Brewing, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about all of his beers in just a couple minutes. This is Just a Guy with a Beer, episode 33.
If you're in the market for a used vehicle at a great price, head over to GNS Auto Sales in Franklin, Connecticut and take a look at their great selection. BMW, Audi, Dodge, Chevy, Ford, and so much more. And whether it's an oil change, brake repair, or the check engine light, let Pat, Wendy, and their team of professionals take care of all your automotive needs. That's GNS Auto Sales located in Franklin, Connecticut. Give them a call at 860-383-0050 or find them on the web at www.gnsautosales.llc.com.
Have you got a taste for exquisitely crafted beer and pub grub with a foodie flair? Then These Guys Brewing Company on Franklin Street in Norwich, Connecticut has got what you're craving. Enjoy a variety of classic and unique craft beers brewed on site and indulge in a delicious meal with seasonal dishes from their scratch kitchen. And check them out on Facebook or online at theseguysbrewing.com to stay up to date with their freshest brews, current menu, and upcoming events. These Guys Brewing Company, where it's all about good times, great food, and fantastic craft beer.
Hey, do you hear that? That's the sound of people getting together and having a good time. These are some of the sounds that you're gonna hear when you visit Epicure Brewing on Franklin Street in Norwich. Epicure is a craft brewery that wants you to experience friends, a lot of laughter, and of course, Epicure's craft beers on tap. Bring your friends or come down and make some new ones while enjoying the freshest quality beer in the area. Epicure Brewing is located at 40 Franklin Street, Norwich, right in the heart of the historic district of Norwich. Check out Epicure Brewing on the web at epicurebrewing.com, as well as finding them on Facebook. So come on down and add your voice to the sounds you hear in the background right now. Follow the hashtag Epicure Brewing for life.
Unify is a local full-service marketing and branding agency that helps your business strategize, develop, and implement a marketing plan using the best platforms and materials to connect you with the right customers quickly. Find them on Facebook at Unify CT or on Instagram at Unify_CT, or call Laura directly at 860-326-6003. Strategize, develop, and connect. That's Unify. Killfoot Clothing is the first 100% veteran sales team owned by two local Connecticut combat wounded veterans. Every garment is designed, printed, sold, handled, and shipped only by veterans. We source our products 100% made in the USA and believe if you have a flag on your shirt, that shirt should be made in the United States, period. Killfoot Clothing Company. American made, American proud.
Do you have a junk car or maybe one that got blown up and caught on fire? The guys from Scrap for Cash, they don't care. They're going to come to you. They're going to tow it away for free, and then they're going to pay you $275 for it. Scrap for Cash will turn that heat in your backyard into money so you can pay bills, taxes, groceries.
A night on the town.
Find Scrap for Cash on Facebook or call 860-373-2556. Scrap for Cash.
All right, we're back. Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 33. I just wanted to say real quick, I'd like to welcome aboard LBP Hair Studio to the Just a Guy with a Beer team. They're a brand new sponsor, and this segment of Just a Guy with a Beer is sponsored by the LBP Hair Studio in Oakdale, Connecticut, not Montville, Oakdale. The difference. See Jen and her team for all your hair design needs. Find them on the web at www.lbphairstudio.com. All right, we only have about 10 minutes left here, Corey. So I wanted to talk about your beers. Okay, so we talked a little bit off the air. I want you to tell my viewers and listeners about your coffee, your brown coffee ale.
Oh, okay. So the one that we recently did, it's called Muddy Water. I actually did a refill during the commercial break. This is Muddy Water.
It looks delicious.
It's a great brown ale. I was a little worried about it at first. I still think there's some tweaks to be done to it. But what we did is we did a regular brown ale, and we added some oats and a few other things with dextrins to kind of bring up the maltiness flavor of it. So that way coffee wouldn't overpower it. And we added coffee during the fermentation process to kind of bring it out on the back end, almost like a cold press coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the ones that we did. Like I said, it's not 100% yet. It's really good once I let it age for about a week and a half or so. So it's been kind of a work in progress, as it were.
Yeah. Now you mentioned earlier when we talked about if the beans aren't really roasted, it'll actually change the flavor of your beer. If they're not fully roasted.
Yeah. I mean, and this is something that I've been kind of researching as well. So a lot of small time roasters, because they are trying to keep up with the demand, they are not roasting their beans 100%. So that way, when you actually crack or grind the coffee, the interior of the bean actually provides some off flavors that you don't necessarily want. Some of those off flavors are consumed during the fermentation process, which kind of helps a little bit. But, you know, like I've always said to a couple of other people that I've mentored over time, is that if you don't like your beer, don't necessarily throw it out, you know, right away. Just let it sit. You know, age sometimes can be a really helpful tool just to let it sit and mellow out. because some of those like really off flavors that hit your palate really quickly will disappear over time.
Right. That's weird because I never really thought of that. Like if you're making a coffee beer and you're grinding those beans up and you're putting them into your mash. I mean, it's just weird. Like if it's off, it can really affect the flavor of your beer. But like you said, let your beer mellow, man. Let it sit.
And even something as easy as instead of grinding them, just put them in whole. So that way you're not actually affecting the interior of the bean. The flavor's not affecting your beer. It's really just the exterior of the bean and what was roasted.
Okay. So now how many beers do you guys have now? How many of you?
So at any given time, we have a small kegerator that can do 4 beers on tap, but I like it that way because that pushes me to continue to brew beer. I don't usually like brewing the same beer twice. I mean, I will do it, especially for like competitions and a few other things, but I like to experiment with different styles, see what people like, and what we can accomplish. So over the years, we've done everything from, our Belgian triple, we've done double IPAs, we've done New England IPAs, saisons, cream ales, Weizenbachs, lagers, red ales, all sorts of things. So, people that are listening, I'm always available to hear your beer ideas that are submarine centric. We tend to get a lot of good ones, so that's kind of it's kind of help us name some of them.
Maybe you should do make a barley wine and call it bilge wine.
Say that again.
Do a barley wine.
Oh yeah, man.
And call it bilge wine.
Bilge wine. There you go.
Back in the day, that was the thing. Bilge wine was the thing. So
yep.
Awesome. So now, how many under your label, Submerged Brewing? How many beers are there?
Oh man, if I had to count, I think we've done with the new system behind me since we got it. We've done about 20.
Oh wow.
And I mean, it's everywhere from, like I said, the Muddy Water is the name of the brown ale. It brings you back to some marching days. We've done Field Day IPA.
Love it.
Claxon Cream Ale, Liberty for the Brave, which was our saison that we did with hibiscus. We did a brown ale called Midnight Routine, which we used some maple syrup from back home in Minnesota. We did a Weizenbach called No Bearing, No Threat for you ESM operators out there. Rig for Red was our double red that we did. I will be doing a Rig for Black here soon. It's going to be an Imperial Stout that's aged on some oak charred stuff with some bourbon. So that'll be a good one.
That sounds amazing. And they're all creative. That's the creativity. I love it, man. It's good stuff. And submariners are a rare breed. And the beer lovers because listen, almost every submariner loves beer at some point in their life. So I think this is a great combination. Plus, you have a ton of support. You're in a great spot out there for at least for the beer side, but for the creativity side, you have an entire force. Tired of people.
Yeah, my wife is reminding me of Pie in the Eye. We did one for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love it.
That was pecan pie inspired. So we used graham crackers in the mash to kind of emulate the pie cracker crust. And we used roasted pecans. And that one was a lot of fun. We won a gold medal in Hawaii for one of our session IPAs that we did called Steel Beach Picnic. That one was a good one.
That's great. That's awesome. All right, man. We're running out of time. I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us tonight, and I wish you the best of luck. If anybody's out there that's watching is wondering, it's www.submergedbrewingco.com. Go on there, check out, buy some swag, support. If you joined us late, you can watch it again because I can't go over the whole thing and tell you the whole thing again. but watch the whole thing again, watch the beginning again, and find out, Corey needs your support, and he's doing a fantastic job out there. The beer is awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on some of it and try it. So hopefully we can work that out somehow.
Absolutely.
And have it on the show again. I'd like to have you come back too.
Hey, for sure.
After I get it, I'd love to have you come back and come on. You've been an awesome guest, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
Your beer knowledge is awesome, and that's what I love. People that can come on and talk technical. It's not always fun and games. But I like to have the technical people on because there are people that watch it. They want to know these things. My dad's one of them. He wants to watch, and he's like, "Well, why don't you ask him this? And why don't you ask him that? I'm like, why don't you host the show?" So I love it. I appreciate you, man, and I appreciate you. Thank you again for your service, and I'm proud to call you a brother, a chief petty officer, and a submariner, man. So keep doing what you do, and be safe out there. And we'll see you again sometime down the line. Hopefully, maybe during the summer, unless you're going to be doing God's work. So we'll figure it out. We'll get it done, man.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Right. Awesome. Cool. And so listen, next week I have an awesome guest. I have a local brewery next week. I have, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to jinx it. So right now the plan is she'll be here. She'll be on. So tune in during the week for my promos. I'll let you know who it's going to be. It's going to be a great show. This has been a fun time. Thank you again, Corey. This has been awesome. Tell your wife, Brittany, thank you to her as well. You guys are doing great stuff. Good luck to you the rest of the way. I'll see you guys next week. Same time, same channel. We're on YouTube now, so all good. So until next time, this is Scott Fryer for Just a Guy with a Beer, and I will see you next Monday. Take care.